What the hell did the Biden-Harris administration just do? What did Kamala Harris just do? So you got Donald Trump going out, speaking on behalf of the American people, trying to put Americans first, to make sure they get their money, to make sure they're taken care of. You want to know who doesn't do that? Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris doesn't do that one bit. She pretends like she cares, right? And then her supporters will kind of concoct this rationale in their mind, or their lack of, and somehow make meaning for themselves that she's going to show up for all of them. She's not a leader. She's not even a follower. She's just terrible at whatever she does, whether that's being a prosecutor, whether that's being vice president. Any job she's done, she's sucked at. We've always mentioned this here on the show. I don't know what it is with that party. I honest to God don't know. And it started around Barack Obama's time, to where when you are terrible at whatever job you were doing and you're a part of the Democrat Party, you will be elected to the highest levels of office. You get elevated for doing a dog shit job. Case in point, Barack Obama sucked when he was in Chicago. Sucked when he was in the White House. Same thing with Joe Biden. Sucked as a senator. Sucked as a vice president. Sucked as a president. And they actually wanted that guy to run again with the brain that doesn't work. Kamala Harris sucked in San Francisco. Sucked as a prosecutor. Sucked as a vice president. Still sucks. Here you go. Karine Jean-Pierre sucked at her job before. Sucked at Columbia University. Sucked when she was on MSNBC. Sucked as an anchor, or whatever you want to call her, a spokesperson. I don't even know what the hell her job was, really. Gets elevated to communications at the White House. Sucks at that job. Then she gets elevated to White House press secretary. Worst press secretary in United States history. It's funny how when you go down the line, everybody sucks at their job. Days after the destruction of Hurricane Helen, with more than 100 Americans dead and billions worth of damage done to life and livelihood, the government tasked with aiding disaster victims has fallen victim to diversity-driven mission drift. Oh, you mean DEI is partially to contribute to this disaster? It's like one disaster on top of another, right? The disaster of the hurricane, then it's the disaster of DEI that follows behind, that just creates more destruction. Isn't that what you want? Right? Your house was fucking bulldozed by a hurricane, and then you got more destruction coming in, just making your life more worse. As the backlash against DEI grows in the corporate and academic space, we're beginning to see a tactical pattern. Institutional trends often aren't created by big headlines. Oh, no. Of course they don't, because they love the DEI stuff. They love the destruction, you guys. They love the crippling of this great country. But by quiet acquaintance, to under the radar practices that can, over the years, lead to incredibly damaging mission drift. Centrality. A mission matters for a college, and it matters even more for a business, but it arguably matters most of all when it comes to dealing with natural disasters, threatening tens of billions of dollars worth of damage to the American people. And this is where we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the show, folks. So buckle up. This is where we're going to sit there and highlight for all of you where all your money's going. Is your money going to Americans? Is it going to somebody else? Who's doing it? How are they doing it? Why are they doing it? Let's get into it. And yet, it's in this area that DEI-esque mission drift has occurred most blatantly, not to the legacy media. Oh, no. It shouldn't be controversial to say that race obsession should not be a primary consideration when it comes to disaster relief, but it is. But it is for the Democrats. Yet, as the city of Asheville floods, FEMA itself is focused on appeasing race-based people. In the wake of Helen's destruction, the Biden administration is taking widespread flack for their 2022-2026 strategic disaster relief plan, listing as their primary objective instilling equity as a foundation of emergency management. I told you. What is the title? What was the thumbnail, folks? Shocking news exposes Biden and Harris disaster relief. Well, what the hell does that mean? What does all this mean? In FEMA's words, proactively prioritizing actions that advance equity for communities and identifying groups that have historically been underserved. So this house has been bulldozed by the hurricane. Next door, this house has been bulldozed by the hurricane. You got one person that's black, one person that's white. We're going to take care of the black person first because they were a marginalized group throughout American history. How about they're both fucked? How about, I don't mean the cusp, but how about they're both donezo? Why don't you take care of both of them? Because they're both Americans. The race has nothing to do with it. Pair this with the 1988 Stafford Act's requirement for non-discrimination in FEMA's disaster relief, and you get a sense of where our administration stands. Kicking out against the goads and to live out their desired focus on something far more important than the silly non-discriminating thing, a vaguely worded commitment to equity that places priority on the historically underserved while taking priority away from the currently struggling. Now, where does this take us? Brad, that's fine and dandy, but where does this take us? Well, let me show you where it takes us, okay? Let me show you a little bit, just a wee bit, where it takes us. I hope if you're driving, pull over for a second. If you're with your kids, depending on the age, have them listen in. I want to show you this picture here. This is page 6 of the New York Post. Calm before the storm. Feds say there's no more money left. Places are ravaged. Haven't even seen any agency show up to their locality. No money left for the hurricane. Why? Why do you ask? Oh, well, we'll get into it. But as you see down there, where did they spend $1.4 billion, Patriots? Where did they spend it? Where is it? Hold on just a moment, looking for it. 1 second. Nope, not in there. No, it's in the pockets of illegal immigrants. That's where it's at. Come on. $1.4 billion. Oh, isn't that just fine and dandy? Oh, goody, goody, goody. So that's what they have. But the New York Post has an article about the FEMA immigrants getting billions of dollars. And we pull back up really quick. Feds say there's no money left to respond to hurricanes. Why? And don't worry, I got a clip from the dude, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, from 3 months ago, and we'll hear what he says, because he's going to say, well, we're more prepared than ever. Oh, I got the receipts, baby. You're damn right. We always come rowing. We're rowing, going, everybody's showing. Feds say there's no more money. Why? Because $1.4 billion. You go try to spend $1 billion, you guys, and see how hard it is. Not to the government, it ain't. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. I told you in the Democrat Party, when you suck at your job, you get elevated to the highest levels of office. There is no higher. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy tries to run for president at some point. This is the guy that allowed 10+ million illegal immigrants to enter into the country, spend billions of your hard-earned money on other things, like illegal immigrants. The same guy that kicks out veterans out of our hotel rooms, but sits there and, I don't know what this is, but sits there and, I don't know, replaces them with immigrants from Afghanistan and Iraq. The same people that they quite possibly could have been fighting against gets their room and they're kicked out, put on the streets. That's this administration for you. That's the Biden administration. That's a real story, by the way. That is 100% a real story. And we'll get back to, I told you I'm exposing this whole damn thing today. Oh, we're exposing this whole, I don't even care if we get through the other half of the episode. Today's episode is all about exposing the Biden-Harris administration and the shocking news of what they're doing here to our American citizens, our fellow patriots, our brothers and sisters in this country. That's what this is about today. Because they're also using over almost 200 hotel rooms right now in these disaster areas, not for Americans, not for people that lost their home. Oh, no. I guess you can guess where those people are going. Send this all to your friends and family right now, by the way. Send this link out to everybody because this is ridiculous. So you got Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the guy that let in terrorists and criminals and murderers and all those things, set off outrage Wednesday when he told reporters that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, does not have the funds to see Americans through the rest of the Atlantic hurricane season. After the agency spent more than $1.4 billion since the fall of 2022 to address the migrant crisis. Oh, what crisis? I was told it's just a situation. That's the word they used. A situation at the border. It's a problem. So what they did was, as a reed in the wind, just like the Democrats are, they would go from it's a situation to a challenge to a problem. And then what they would do after they broke multiple records month after month, it's back down to a situation. Then it's a challenge. It's just the problem that must be dealt with. It's Donald Trump's fault. It's some nameless, faceless, shadowy figure's fault, other than the Democrats. I mean, who could have thought that not only could nature itself ravage an area, but then Democrats could come in and make it worse? That's so hard to do. It is so hard to do, but they still pull it off. Boy, we are meeting the immediate needs with money that we have, Mayorkas said during a press conference. Oh, I bet you are. Yeah, all that money that you have, the money that we have is going to you know where. Oh, we got lots here, baby. We got lots. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. Oh, lovely. We don't have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through this season. And what is imminent? Oh, goody. Oh, goody. I'm so glad that this guy has his head on straight. I am so glad Democrats elected these idiots. So FEMA has funds needed for immediate response and recovery despite Mayorkas' warning. So they got some money, some a little bit. So they had a spokesperson coming out because DHS secretary is kind of exposing the fact that they suck at their job. And, well, they said she has the full authority to spend against the president's budget, but we're not out of hurricane season yet, so we need to keep a close eye on it. Basically spending, well, it doesn't matter. We'll still blow the budget. We got more of your taxpayer dollars going to everybody else other than actual Americans. Oh, goody. Now, is it going to Americans? Of course it is, obviously. But who is it really going towards? Who is also getting your money? Yes, people are here illegally. So, as I mentioned, here's the receipt. Here's Mayorkas, not long ago, 90 days ago, 90 days, 3 months ago, saying this about FEMA.
Is tremendously prepared. This is what we do. This is what they do. And the key here, Rebecca, is also to make sure that the communities who are potentially impacted are prepared as well. And it's not just hurricanes and wildfires, also extreme heat, which certainly some parts of the United States are already experiencing.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of her.
Boy, I'm sure glad those people are being taken care of. We're spending the money that we have, but it's only half or more on other people.
Of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This all comes as the Biden-Harris administration spent over $1 billion from a FEMA program on services for migrants. Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Ashley Moody.
I'm sorry, what did he say? Forgive me, sorry, because sometimes there's Democrats in here that have the Q-tips in their ears. So let's take out those Q-tips. Let's put on our listening ears really quick, Democrats. Patriots, we get this. Patriots, we get this.
As the Biden-Harris administration spent over $1 billion from a FEMA program on services for migrants.
Yo. Oh, we're not done. We're not even close to being done. I'm going hard in the paint, and this is why you guys come here, right? There's no corporation behind us. There's no somebody telling us what we can and can't say, other than maybe screw tubes slightly. You got Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller. I actually haven't seen him this upset in quite some time. This guy lets loose here on Fox News. Now, it might seem like, well, it's not really losing his ish, Brad. For somebody that's on air, this would be similar to like you screaming at somebody. And rightfully so. Check this out.
Sean, this is the gravest betrayal of American citizens this country has ever seen. The reason why those Americans in North Carolina, those mothers, those fathers, those precious little children were left to die, were left on rooftops begging their government for help that never came, is because Kamala Harris turned FEMA into an illegal alien resettlement agency. Its manpower, its dollars, its resources, its mental energy was spent over the last 4 years learning how to do one thing, how to get illegal aliens from outside the country into your town. And so when disaster struck, they were not ready, they were not prepared, they were not capable, and they did not care. And our fellow citizens, including babies, children, young kids, were left to suffer and drown. They did not scramble the helicopters. They did not scramble the military. They did not send needed assistance. But if those children had been living in a foreign country, they've been living in Haiti, or they've been living in Venezuela, why then Kamala Harris would have sent in help immediately. A betrayal like we've never seen before, Sean. This is infuriating.
He's not wrong, by the way. Not even close to me. Remember, they get this is one program. This is one program, $1.4 billion. I want to point out, back in 2016, Donald Trump was trying to get a border wall built. And guess who sat there and went against him? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the Democrats. We don't have the money, Donald. We don't have the money for that. Really? He goes, I'll take $3 billion. I'll take $2 billion. Just give me the money. I'll build the biggest wall ever. We don't have the money. Really, $60 billion going to this country, $8 billion going to that country, $10 billion going to that country, $10 billion going to the Iranians that want to see Western civilization wiped off the face of the earth, $87 million going to the Taliban every 2 weeks. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. But you don't have the money? You don't have the money to help these people, dude. It's shit's insane, man. Yo, it's insane. It really is. It really is fucking insane. You couldn't write this. And Democrats will show up to vote for it. That's what I always say. It's the remarkable thing. They will stand in line after work for however long to make sure they can pencil in Kamala Harris because Donald Trump's a threat to democracy. Donald Trump's not here for the American people. Like, really? Really? Did you not see this fucking picture? Did you not? Are you not watching this? Are you serious? Really? Look at this. Oh, she shows up every day for us. She speaks on behalf of women's rights. Blah, blah, blah. Well, this is only going to piss you off more. Woo! This is only going to make you more upset. If you're enjoying the show and you feel like we deserve your subscription, it's absolutely free. Hit that follow and subscribe button. Definitely hit that like button, folks, because look, the truth needs to get out there, and this is what we're doing right now. Here is Eric Trump exposing the fact that they're allowing, well, you'll see, a certain someone or some people to use up hotel rooms. Check this out.
There are 157 hotels in New York City that are completely full of illegal immigrants. Let me just repeat that number. 150 hotels in New York City that are completely full of illegal immigrants. New York City alone spends over $1 billion a year on illegal immigrants. And then you see these pictures of husbands and wives and children who have lost everything. Their homes have floated down rivers. Their homes have been taken out by mudslides. Their vehicles are gone. Their picture albums are destroyed. Every sentimental value that they could ever possibly imagine is gone. You know, will never be brought back. And what does Kamala do? She comes out and offers $750. $750. The TV in the person's house costs more than $750, and you see the absolute destruction. Sean, of all the political things that I've seen in the last decade, this is the one that bothers me the most. Hands down, by far. We have spent $200 billion sending money over to Ukraine and Russia to see young, innocent 21-year-old kids in dirty trenches pop around corners and shoot each other in the face with AK-47s. You watch these videos on YouTube, the lives are expunged in a matter of seconds. $200 billion America has sent over there. Yet we can't take care of our own in Georgia and North Carolina and Virginia and Florida. $750. We send billions to places like Pakistan. And they won't tell us that bin Laden is literally living next to their equivalent of West Point. Yet we offer devastated families, the very people you're showing on the screen right now, we offer devastated families $750. Sean, this is the worst administration in the history of the country. These aren't serious people. Frankly, I think they're cruel people. The way they put Americans last is absolutely cruel, and I hope every single person going to the polls on November 5th and before in early voting will remember exactly who these people are.
Well said. Well said. Now, Democrats go, well, FEMA's there. FEMA's making a difference. FEMA is some areas. It's not like they're not showing up. But let's hear from the boots on the ground. What good is it from some guy in California in his closet showing you the proof left and right? What good is all this if we don't hear from the actual people, the boots on the ground? So let's go to them. Let's go to you over at Fox News in Asheville, North Carolina. What are the boots saying, Jesse?
The amount of support that we need.
We haven't seen FEMA, we haven't seen Red Cross, we haven't seen Hearts with Hands, we've seen no agencies come through here. Most people drive through with their cameras out, filming us like we're animals in a zoo, and don't stop.
How could the government do us like this, and how could the whole country just forget about us? Like, it's not enough. What is being done is not enough.
I want to point out, I didn't forget about you. I'm right here. I've been talking about it since it happened. And here I am doing an entire hour-long episode on the fact of where's our government? Where's the Biden-Harris administration? Because there's a constant theme here, and we'll come back to this. There's a constant theme with this administration to not show up for disasters. East Palestine, Ohio, Maui and Hawaii. Now we got the hurricane here in North Carolina and Georgia and Florida. I mean, just ravaged everywhere. Nowhere to be found. You want to know where they could be found? Doing their own thing, kicking their feet in the sand when they're on vacation because Joe Biden spent more vacation time than any sitting president. You don't give two shit. Why are they still not there? Where you at, Joe? He's in bed hooked up to a CPAP machine like Darth Vader.
I mean, there are entire communities that have been just decimated. Where is our government?
Terrible.
I mean, for Kamala, and I am an avid supporter.
I didn't want to say it because it's a terrible thing, right? This person's crying, having a tough time. What question do we always ask? What question, Patriots, in any interview do people need to start asking? I know that you know this. Who do you vote for? At least this person has the guts to say it, and I appreciate that. Kudos to you.
For her to stand in Florida today and make a statement, where is our government?
Sources say over 1,000 troops in North Carolina are just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for orders that haven't come. They haven't heard from the North Carolina governor, and the Biden administration's blocking ongoing rescue operations.
Well, why would you do that, Joe? I thought you cared about us. I was told on the campaign trail during the debate that Donald Trump doesn't care about us. But he does, by the way. What's going on here?
They're in the way. They are directly interrupting our ability to conduct missions and operations. And I'm not going to disparage anybody because we are trying to work within partner relationships, both government and non-government entities within state and federal and county. I went to put a couple of people into a hotel last night, and they have a security guard at the hotel. And they said, "Oh, we're so sorry. The entire hotel has been booked for federal employees." And I was like, no, I have people that would just pull it out of a mountain that are living out in the hills, and there's not a place for me to put them because we have federal employees that are staying in the hotel. I slept in this white car last night. I smell like foot and death right now, as does every single person on our team.
Donald Trump isn't for the American people. I will serve the interests of the American public. That's Kamala Harris, right? All drunk and tipsy, just oh. So people are pissed, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Every right. Even Judge Janine is out here laying down the law on Fox. Check this out.
We're being honest. Are you kidding me? Joe Biden is the one who's at the beach. And no, wait a minute. Let me finish the sentence, okay? Joe Biden was at the beach. The storm hit on Thursday night. He's on the beach. He doesn't even think about going. And you know what? Kemp asked for disaster relief for 99 counties. And Donald Trump was right when he said that they're not giving the Republicans the relief. The Biden administration only gave relief for 11. And then when everybody kicked and screamed, Biden said, okay, we'll give 30 counties some disaster relief. So let's just be truthful about this. And I got to tell you, one thing that aggravates the hell out of me, why do Democrats think the way to solve the problem is to throw money in it? Close the damn border. If you don't have enough money for American citizens who are in an emergency, who need food and baby formula and everything else and heat, we can't even find them. And yes, there are places where the National Guard hasn't even hit yet. Well, damn it, that money is my money. It's for Americans in a disaster. It is not for illegals who were violated our law to come here in the first place. And by the way, it's $1 billion of FEMA money. Biden in 2022 created a program that allows the transfer of FEMA money. And if $1 billion isn't enough to scare you, our administration has spent $66 billion on illegals. And that's for education, medication, law enforcement, and welfare.
Yeah, that doesn't even include law enforcement.
Well, in the end, what we've got is Americans suffering when we fought the wars, built the streets, and now we're letting illegals we don't even know want to flip the bird to us in the end and give them the money when our kids don't have baby formula. You can be damn sure they got baby formula at the border for illegals. Enough of this nonsense.